Peace, y'all. It's the Lord Co-World, and I'm kicking it here with my main man, Jay Wiggs, and we're back for our happy hour cut here on Saturday for game day. Yeah, let me toast to you, Brody. What's going on?
What's good, Co?
Can't call it, man. Just want to give the fans what they want here. They want more parlays, man. Like these parlays is hitting, so we're getting a lot of request here for more parlays. So, here on the happy hour edition of the Brody Sports Talk, we're going to be going over some additional parlays along with the fantasy talk. We're going to be giving you some injury reports as well before we get to our last take and everything. But as usual, we want to thank all the Brodies out there for following us. And if you're not following us, you need to follow us on Brody Sports Talk on Instagram and YouTube. And when you look for our symbol here, go ahead and like and subscribe. Definitely greatly appreciate it. Click on the bottom right hand corner. Go ahead and click on that little subscribe button, and we'll be good to go. But to go ahead and get started here, we're gonna get back to our WIGG parlay locks here. We got some additional locks that we were looking at here, and we wanted to share this with the public here before you guys, build your parlays for tomorrow's game day. But go ahead and kick things off. WIGG, who you got here for the first leg?
All right, we're coming right back with the parlay locks, like you said. We're giving the people what they want. We're giving the fans what they love. Let's start with George Pickens. We're Commanders fans, so we know anytime somebody comes to DC, the receiver is gonna have the best game. Whoever the number one receiver is, they're gonna have a good game. George Pickens happens to be that receiver this week. And him and Russell Wilson are playing well together already. I like the way that Russell Wilson and George Pickens, the chemistry that they have. 40 receiving yards for minus 350. That's to me, that's an easy lock. And I think I wanted to do this. I said I like to keep you guys under 300, but I want to hit a parlay. One thing I made a mistake of saying the last two times, Co, was that I wanted to go 3 or 4 and 4 or 5. You don't make money on a parlay going 3 or 4 and 4 or 5. Now, this is something you guys can do. You can definitely do the single bets. And again, if we're 3 and 4 and 4 or 5 on single bets, that's really good. But we also want to hit the parlay. So these are single bets as well as parlay. This is the first leg. George Pickens, 40 yards. What do you think, Co?
I like it. Obviously, the secondary is still going to be a little bit of a question mark until Lattimore is ready. So, George Pickens is, like you said, their number one receiver. So, I don't see him getting under 40 yards, honestly, unless we just have a miraculous game day. But I like the parlay lock there with George Pickens 40 yards minus 350. Go ahead and lock that in, folks. All right. So who you got here for the second leg, sir?
All right, for the second leg, we're going with Alvin Kamara for anytime touchdown for minus 145. Who's the opponent in this one? Let me check my notes real quick. What do we got? Saints versus Falcons. Falcons defense. What do you think of Falcons defense, Co?
So their defense is, I mean, I would say top 20. I have to look at the stats, but they're pretty solid. Um, it's a
This
division
is
game,
this
so
is
we
a
always got to
divisional
factor
game.
in. You know what?
I said this is a divisional game too.
Yeah, we always got to factor in that it's a divisional game when it comes to competition. But I would say with Alvin Kamara right now, I mean, he's literally going to be one of their only weapons that they have. Derek Carr is back, thank God. But Chris Olave is still going to he's out. He's on injured reserve, and we'll get to that and other players in our injury report. So I don't know if they're going to be as potent as they were obviously in the first couple of weeks, but I mean, I think anytime TD with Alvin Kamara is very realistic. So go ahead and lock that in.
Yeah, so let me think about this one a little bit. Alvin Kamara, I think he made a good point about Chris Olave being out. Alvin Kamara to me he's one of those special guys in the league. And you can jump in here anytime if you want, Cole. Alvin Kamara, I think, is just one of those special players in the league. Like he's gonna get
Yeah.
the ball a lot, and he makes plays. It's kind of like watching Saquon last week.
Yeah,
They can make plays out of nothing. They get more yards than a normal running back. So Alvin Kamara is just special. I think he's, like you said, he can get an anytime touchdown versus team. Nobody on the Falcons defense really stands out to me. I've
yeah,
watched them play. They
yeah.
don't
They
have
don't
any
have any
standout
like
players.
name brand players that you know,
Yeah,
and also since it's an anytime TD, I think one thing that you can factor in to the Brody world out there is that they can possibly score on the first or second drive, and boom, he's covered and you're good to go. You don't have to worry about anything else because I'm pretty sure the Falcons are going to win this game. They're going to go up by a lot and eventually they're going to have to do like the dink and dunks and passing and avoid the run, that to at least keep up or what have you. So yeah, I think that anytime TD, and it's passing or rushing, right?
hmm
Yeah. So I mean, you have even more of a higher probability of him scoring, especially with being at any time. I think might be outside of the George Pickens ones, might be one of the easiest locks you got here, Wiggs. So
yeah.
yeah. Anything else?
No, I was just gonna say that because we have this is the first time that we're introducing the anytime TD to the parlay locks, and I think
Yeah.
it's something we have to utilize more because I was watching the Ravens game and just watching Derrick Henry on the goal line. Again, Derrick Henry is one of those special players, and it makes you think, why is John Harbaugh not giving him the ball again every time they go to the goal line? I hope this doesn't turn into a Seattle Seahawks situation where the Seahawks get to the Super Bowl. They have Marshawn Lynch. Everybody on the team knows that they need to give Marshawn Lynch the ball, and they don't do it, and they lose the Super Bowl. Like, I don't want that to happen with the Ravens, with Derrick Henry. I don't
Yeah.
want them to get to the Super. I don't want them to get to the AFC Championship versus the Chiefs. They have Derrick Henry, and they get too cute. So this anytime
Yeah.
touchdown again, it's just making me think of special players, and I'm just, again, maybe it's a being a DMV fan and just having bad memories of our teams not being in the playoffs, and you get worried really easily. So I'm thinking about the Ravens, and the Ravens are special. Like that game on
Yeah.
Thursday, I guess we'll get to it maybe at some point later in the podcast, but that game was
They're
special, so
definitely a
we definitely
favorite.
gotta,
They're definitely a
man.
favorite to win it all. And, to your point, and you know, sometimes teams like you said like try to get too cute and it comes back to bite them. But I think with the Saints and with this particular lock here, I think this is a very, very high probability for it to hit early in the first quarter because they're going to try to establish the run right off the bat, just to
Especially in a
keep
divisional game.
yeah, just to keep Kirk off the field here. So I wouldn't be surprised if he hits that in his first one or two drives there. But go ahead and lock that in, Brody's, for Alvin
All
Kamara anytime TD minus 155. But moving on here to the third pick here, who do you got here, Wiggs?
right, next on the list is Najee Harris. We're staying in DC. So again, I think we both have oh wait, no, I have DC to win this week. No, keep both of us on the screen, cuz I want to see your face on these.
Yeah,
Keep both of us
I'm
on the
taking the
screen.
Steelers by for political reasons, but my
Okay,
heart says we
okay.
about to whoop that ass.
Okay, exactly. So
I'll
just
take an L if
because
the Skins win.
exactly. So this is kind of a CYA, cover your ass. So
Yeah,
we think that we not we think we know our defense is not the best. We
yeah,
make plays. That's one thing I do like about our defense, and you said it earlier in the podcast. Our defense makes plays, and all we need our defense to do is make one or two plays
one or two
because
plays.
nobody can stop our offense.
Yep.
So Najee Harris for 50 yards versus defense, that's a lock, folks. Minus 250. We're under 300. So again, this is a good bet straight up, but this is also going to be a good bet in our lock.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, and like I said, with the Skins' run defense, that's their Achilles heel, and their pass defense isn't that good either. So, two Steelers that we got in our parlay locks there, Brodies. So go ahead and lock that in. Again, these are full disclosure. These are just our suggestions. These are parlay locks that Wiggs and I ourselves are putting our own money on. So, we're taking all the risk here with y'all as well. But if you guys are hitting your parlays, I'm pretty sure some of y'all took the Lamar Jackson parlay. We didn't hit on the Zay Flowers one. That's why we came back here with four more for you guys. But if you're not following, you need to get your parlay picks in. You need to follow Brody Sports Talk here on Instagram and YouTube for all your parlay picks here and fantasy talk here. But to wrap things up here, Wicks, who you got here for the fourth leg?
For the fourth leg, we're going Kyron Williams, Los Angeles Rams, and let me double check the matchup for the Rams. Yeah, I think it's my Dolphins,
Dolphins,
man. I think it's my Dolphins.
Monday night.
Yeah, we're just not that good. And Kyron Williams did not score for the first time last week in about
Yeah, so he's
7
gonna pick up where
weeks.
he left off. Yep.
Exactly. He's going to pick up where he left off. One thing I like about the Rams, they have Matthew Stafford, and Matthew Stafford is going to get his players the ball. I think that's the same thing with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is going to get his is a word I'm trying to think of, but he's going to get his players the ball.
He's
He's
going
going
to
to
distribute
get
the ball. He's going to
exactly. He's going to
distribute the
distribute
ball. I mean, he's a game
exactly.
manager
He's going
now.
to get his
So
playmakers the ball is the word I'm
yeah,
looking
yeah,
for. And Kyron Williams is one of the best playmakers in the NFL right now. He's been. Did you say you picked him up last year in fantasy
yeah. Ended
waiver
up
wire?
picking him up on off the waiver wire.
Mm.
And it's funny how we'll get to this in our fantasy talk, but it's just so funny how a player can come off the waiver wire, have a breakout game, and then the next year he's a top 10 draft pick. It's crazy.
All you
It's
need is an
truly a year to year
opportunity.
league.
All you
Yeah,
need is an opportunity in this league. It really is any given Sunday. Anybody can win in this league. As we saw, Dennis Allen for the Saints got fired, 2 weeks ago because they lost to the Panthers. Um, so yeah, this is anybody's league. But yeah, Kyron Williams for 70 yards, minus 380. So again, we're going a little higher, but we're trying to get this parlay locked in.
yeah. I think that's a good one. Um, Kyron Williams is, one of their top playmakers, and I think one of the good things is, Puka Nakua and Cup are back, so that's only going to open up things more for him. Pause. But yeah, you know, I say 70 yards combined, rushing and receiving. I think that's a good lock there. But uh, go ahead again, follow us on Brody Sports Talk here on Instagram and YouTube for all your parlay picks. Those are your additional parlay locks of the week here. Brought to you by my main man Jay Wigg here.
And
But
Co, this the collab. This the collab parlay. We
yeah,
worked
this
on this
this
one
one
together.
this one is this one that definitely has my stamp on it as well. But I would definitely say out of these four, I think we have a shot, bro. I think we have a shot to hit 4 for 4.
That's the point. Look, we're not giving you parlays to go 3 for 4 anymore. We're trying to hit 4 for 4. That's the whole point. We want to hit them all. But I'm gonna say this, Co. At the end of the day, our record is gonna be better than those analysts that are on TV. I can guarantee you that for sure.
Look,
We're
look, let
three
me
for
tell you
four,
something.
and I think we're gonna go 4 for 5 this week. Show me what analyst is fucking with us. It's the weekend. Show me what analyst is fucking with us.
Not too many, man. And shout out to DraftKings, to FanDuel, to BetMGM, all the platforms out there. Shout out to StreamYard for for blessing us with with the platform to get our voice out. So shout out to everybody there. But moving right along here, bro. We got a great fan favorite here, our fantasy talk. And what I want to talk about here is just like the renaissance here, possibly with some of these quarterbacks. I mean, we've had a pretty slow year so far when it comes to the quarterback play. A lot of these teams, are scoring 17, 20, 25 points. And if you're scoring 30, you got a pretty stout run game. So quarterback play has been pretty bad. But just to give you here, Brody, what we got here. So last week, Joe Burrow gave us 55.15 points in our league. Patrick Mahomes 50.45 and Jalen Hurts 45.20. These are the numbers. These are 2023 numbers from last year, back where when the passing game was more prevalent. And then what's making it even scarier if this trend keeps up, the running backs are still carrying the league as far as points. I mean, Saquon gave us 31.40. You got him on your squad. Devon Achane, who was one of our other locks for the week, he gave you 28.10. Derrick Henry, who's on my squad, gave me 25.80. Uh, let's see, Zay Flowers, who fell a little short. We'll get to this in the last take. We'll get to this in the last take. I think these people know that we're picking, these certain parlays, and I don't know, man, because I'm gonna give you some scoring leader stats for week 10, and you're gonna be like, this is so random. It's all gonna tie in. But Zay Flowers, 27.20. Jackson and Jigba, Smith and Jigma, 33.50. Garrett Wilson, who was a lock, 25.50. Travis Kelsey, 15 for the tight end. Kate Otten, I think we had him on our stardom sit 'em for 1770. And then Mike Gesicki for 2450. Like these are some great numbers. And if you have production like this from your players, the sky's the limit when it comes to your possibilities of winning the championship here.
Yeah, and I think you make a great point. Let's go back to the first point you made about the quarterbacks, or just the resurgence of the quarterbacks this week. Sam Darnold, 290 yards, 3 touchdowns. These are guys that have been written off. Baker Mayfield, only 200 yards, but still 2 touchdowns, and played Mahomes well. Like these guys are these are guys that were written off and forgotten about. Matthew Stafford, um, Jared Goff. Like again, Jared Goff is still winning, and it
Jared
shows you
Goff
that
is
there's
actually
more.
a front run, one of the front runners for MVP. I think he's like in the top five running right now. He's playing lights out.
And I think what you notice with, I think we were looking at some of the teams when we were looking at the matchups earlier in the week. When you look at the good teams, you see two things: good quarterbacks and good coordinators. And I
Yep.
think you're not going to have a good team without both right now. Like I think you can see Caleb Williams. When we watched, when we got a chance to see the Bears play the Commanders, you get a chance to see the Bears up close. The plays that they were running were not good. It didn't feel like Caleb was in a position where he felt confident. It didn't feel like the receivers felt confident. You could see DJ Moore look frustrated last week. They said he walked off the field, but he was injured. So I give him the fact that he was injured. But and I hate to compare Jaden and Caden. I mean Jaden and Caleb, but it's just something that you just see it, and they're going to be compared their entire careers. They're number one and number two. Same with C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young. So it just is what it is. We'll
Yeah.
try to be sympathetic or empathetic to these players, because again, Caleb is a special. He's a special player. So this is no offense to Caleb Williams, but um, but he's just not Jaden Daniels. No,
No, he's
no.
not. He's nowhere near. He's in a different stratosphere. And like I said in a lot of our other conversations, the second year, the transition from rookie season to your sophomore season is so important, especially for quarterbacks. Main reason because you know you're going into the offseason, you got an opportunity to, look at all of the mistakes that you made, and improve on them. But most importantly, are you going to be in the same offensive scheme? Now, I would say there's a chance that your boy Cliff Kingsbury might get offers, but I think it's safe to say that he might stay a second year. So Jaden Daniels is going to be in the same offense from year one to year two. Honestly, Caleb Williams, I hate to say it, he may have to go into another system. They may fire Everflus. They may get a new offensive coordinator. You never know. But I mean, Caleb's special, bro. Like he's a diva, but on the field, the dude is he's legit, man. But I think right now one of the biggest contributors to the low quarterback play, especially, is that we have a surge of dual threat quarterbacks. Like that's the new wave now. People want to see quarterbacks run and pass now. Ironically enough, they never, back in the day, they didn't want that, but now that's what it is. So a lot of these dual threat quarterbacks are having troubles doing the traditional drop back, style of play. And that's what makes Jaden so special, because not only can he do the run portion, he can also, stay in the pocket and deliver a pass on third down, which is incredible, man. But let's
And
go ahead and go
I
over.
think you
But
let me just say one more thing. I think you talked about this one as well. You were speaking about Jaden Daniels. One thing that he does is he works with the VR. Um, but let me talk about the quarterbacks, like you said, because Drake May, I think, had 95 rushing yards last week.
mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm,
that's one thing I've noticed with the rookies that are not afraid to run, kind of like Brock Purdy's first year when he first started playing.
mm-hmm.
It was kind of like, oh wow, he can run too. It reminded me a little bit of Tony Romo. Tony Romo wasn't afraid to get out the
Yep.
pocket
He
when
was
he
very
first
Tony
started.
Romo was definitely very elusive. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So these young players that aren't afraid to get out of the pocket, they're the ones to me that they can win fast, they can win quick. No, Cole, I want to see your face. I want to see the reaction. Leave both the screens up. I want to see your face because this a back and forth. All right. So yeah, Caleb. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the quarterbacks that can run.
Yeah.
They have a chance to kind of do a little bit more. So Jaden Daniels, when you think about the play action that he's doing, it's not actually the play action, it's the RPO, the run pass option. Um, but that's what the other quarterbacks like Jared Goff, he talks about doing the play action, turning your back to the defense. I think Jared Goff just recently talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
Going from the college offense where it's shotgun, I can do the RPO, I can see the field all at one time. And then when you have to switch to under center, turn my back a little bit of
This
the
is
first year to the second year.
yeah. I'm about to
Is
say,
it
I'm
an
like,
AO
yo, I'm
moment?
like, Wiggs, this is the third straight time you having some tech issues, bro. Do I need to call Verizon and put in a word for you?
What happened? Is it going in and out? Oh,
It, it,
pause.
it, hey, yo, my gosh, we gotta stay professional.
No, no,
But
but what
nah,
happened
you,
though?
you good, you good. It paused for a little bit.
Okay, because it's fine on this side.
All right,
So,
we good. Go ahead. What you were saying?
all right. Damn, I'm losing my train of thought, man.
Oh
Uh,
no. This is the happy
uh,
hour edition, y'all. This is the happy hour
hey,
edition of Brody
listen.
Sports Talk. You need to follow us on Instagram
Shit.
and YouTube here. Cheers to all the Brodies out there. You know, but I mean, I think overall, what we're trying to,
And make sure you
lament
drink your
here.
water.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Take a pause to drink some water for all your happy hour participants out there. Well, it's 10 o'clock now, so I don't know where you're getting happy hour deals now, but honestly, man, I think like what we're trying to lament here to quote the great Stephen A. Smith here is, right now the quarterbacks are there. It's going to take some time for this
The
style of play
development.
to it's going to take some time. And also you got to remember, a lot of the quarterbacks now in today's NFL are young. Okay, Tom
And they're
Brady.
running different offenses in college than they are in the pros. They don't run
Yeah,
pro style offenses in college like they used to.
yeah, that, and on top of that, they're young. Like, I mean, who's the oldest quarterback in the league right now? Joe Flacco, Aaron Rodgers. I
Hmm.
think, honestly, we got to look at the numbers, but I think everybody else may be under 30. Real talk.
No,
So I
you might
mean,
be right
Tua
about that.
Tua's under 30, Jaden's under 30, Caleb's under
I
30,
think
Jordan Love's
Stafford
under
probably is
30,
over 30.
Kirk Cousins is probably in his mid 30s. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
Stafford, Cousins, maybe Geno Smith because he's kind of been
Yeah,
around
Geno
a
Smith is
while.
probably in his maybe young 30s. I think he's like,
But
anywhere
even
between
Sam
30 and
Darnold is only
34.
like 24, 25. It's crazy.
Yeah. Lamar's 28, so like we got a very very young quarterback generation that's still developing. So, I mean, shoot, Lamar is just now starting to really, when you think about it, starting to get better from from the pocket as a passer. That's why he's probably going to be MV3 this year. You know what I'm saying? From that standpoint alone. But yeah, man. So let's talk about where we're at so far, just to transition. I mean, Joe Burrow,
In fantasy? In
yeah,
fantasy or
fantasy,
stats? Okay.
fantasy. So like this is
Okay.
week 10 so far. This was from the Ravens game.
Okay.
Joe Burrow had 63 points, bro. 34 passing completions, 428 yards, 4 TD passes. Lamar Jackson, 25 passing completions, 290 yards. That's a lot. And then 4 TD passes with 33 rushing yards, bro. Like, this is the quarterback play that we're looking for.
And then you might as well get into Jamar Chase if you can, because his numbers
Oh, we're going to
were
get to that. We're going to
yeah.
get to that.
But yeah, okay. If we stick on the quarterbacks, it's like if we stick on the quarterbacks, let's talk about our league. Both of those quarterbacks are on one team, the number one team in our league. Grady has both of those quarterbacks.
Are you serious?
Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow are both on Grady's team. And how crazy is it that he got 56 yards at the quarterback position? I mean 56 points at the quarterback position and he picked wrong. Like you said, Joe Burrow got more points than Lamar
Yeah.
Jackson at 63. So you get 56 points at the quarterback position. You still picked wrong. So it just showed you how crazy fantasy is. Like
Yeah. And I think also incorporated with that, bro, like a stout run game, man. Like if you have a combination of like the wide receiver and the quarterback, or the quarterback and the running back, or the wide receiver and the running back on the same team, and they all go off. I mean, bruh, Chase Brown gave you 17.90 points. I mean, he's been a
that's a
stardom
good
for me
game.
for 2 weeks straight. And
That's a
he
good
gave
game.
you
And
42
you know what
rushing
it is?
yards. You said what?
Zach Moss is injured.
Yeah, but Chase
That's
Brown is
what it
taking
is.
over. He's not. I
Yeah,
mean,
well, he was taking over. Yeah, you're right. He was taking over before that, but then Zach Moss was out, so it makes sense that he was featured even more for the
yeah,
last 2 weeks. And I think, like you said, they made the trade for Khalil Herbert.
yeah. I mean, I think. I mean, he'll probably be in relief to Chase Brown once he gets acclimated with the system. But I mean, Chase Brown gave you 42 yards, a rushing TD, 9 receptions, 52 receiving yards. I mean, Derrick Henry.
That
I mean, Derrick Henry had a pretty slow night. He only gave you 1360, but I mean, 68 rushing yards and a TD. I mean, and if
how
you're in
many
a
carries
PPR
did
league, he
Derrick
gave
Henry
you one
have?
reception.
How many carries did Derrick Henry have?
It doesn't say, but I mean, I
I
would
think he
say,
had. I want to say he had 13.
yeah.
Because
I
I
mean,
looked it up. Let me see if I have it on my stat sheet. But this is the thing about I said this last week, and I'm probably gonna say it every week. Give Derrick Henry the damn ball. It's too many plays. They had to play late in the Ravens had to play in this game, uh, in the fourth quarter where I think they had the lead. No, it was 28-28
yeah, they were
before they
down by
took the
like
lead.
21 points. Yeah.
Yep. So at this point, it was 28-28. This is right before they got the score to go up 35-28. And they're at the goal line. It's first down. No, I think it's second down. And they need the Bengals have one more timeout. And I told my brother, I said, need to run the ball so they can get the Bengals to use their timeout. They
Mm-hmm.
do a pass. It doesn't get completed. So now the Bengals don't have to use their timeout. Um, the Ravens don't run the clock. They don't do anything. And it's just one of those things that's like, you have Derrick Henry. Why are you not giving him the ball? Like,
Thank God for
it's
Lamar Jackson
very,
going on a
yeah.
tangent there, because if they didn't, like, to the stats, I mean the stats aren't always going to be 100% spot on. We know that, but it's going to work a majority of the time, and we know the stats show if Derrick Henry gets 15 carries or more, the Ravens are going to have a higher probability of winning. So I
And they
mean, yeah,
almost lost that game. They came down. The Bengals made it. The Bengals said we're gonna take one play and we'll decide right here if we win or lose. They didn't make the play, so they ended up losing. But I think if Derrick Henry has a couple more carries, again, the time of possession moves in the Ravens' favor a little bit more. You're taking a little bit more time out of the Bengals. That's just how you control the game right there, and they're just not doing a good enough job with that. Like you said, Lamar is just so good. He's overcoming a lot of that, but I think coaching wise, at this point, I would like to see them make a coaching change at the top. John Harbaugh. I would like to see John Harbaugh go somewhere go somewhere else. I think he needs to take a break and
I don't know, man. I think
and
he,
leave.
I think he's. I mean, he's still a very, very high level coach. I mean, I would take him here in Washington if we didn't have Dan Quinn. But this year is going to be the factor here. To your point, whether he's going to be on the hot seat or not, because
If
the
they don't get the
window
Super Bowl,
the window's closing, man. And like as far as like the Derrick Henry thing, just to play advocate here, Jamar Chase went off. He gave you 40, basically 50 points. So like,
and they were down in this game.
yeah, they were
Legitimately, they
down. So
were down in
like,
this game.
I'll give them the benefit of the doubt on this one. But again, if you start off with running the ball, controlling the tempo, you won't have to worry about Lamar having to do what he had to do to
He's
come back to
Superman
win.
every week, right?
Yeah, exactly. So just looking at the stats here, bro. Tylen Wallace, Rasheed Bateman, and Mark Andrews. Okay. Wallace gave you 19, Bateman 14.40, and then Andrews 15.80. All of those three players combined was still less than Jamar Chase at 49.90. So, you know, even though that just goes to show what Lamar had to do, just to bring them back in
That's
the
true.
game. Because
That's true.
like Derrick Henry, he doesn't really start churning until after that 10th, 12th, 13th carry. Those first 10 carries is going to be like 2, 3, 4 yards maybe. And then
Mm-hmm.
next thing you know, he goes off for like 80. And then, you know what I'm saying? And so like
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of like how they got to freak it. But I think that's a good take there, Brody. Again, to the Brodie world. If you're not following us, you need to follow us on Brodie Sports Talk on Instagram and YouTube. Shout out to StreamYard for the platform. Shout out to DraftKings. Shout out to FanDuel. Shout out to BetMGM for helping us out with the parlays there. But you need to click on that bottom right hand corner and subscribe on our YouTube channel. And also on our Instagram, you need to go ahead and hit that follow for all of your fantasy talk, your stardom, situm, and also your parlay picks here. But moving right along, we got an injury status update here. We're getting further into the fantasy season. Playoffs is right around the corner, and wins are going to start, becoming a little bit more pertinent, when it comes to a seeding standpoint. So, I want to just go over just a few of the injuries that some people need to know what's going on here with their fantasy lineup. I'm going to start off with some of the receivers. Drake London is questionable. He's got that hip injury. Right now, let's see. Grady has Amari Cooper. He's listed as questionable. T. Higgins is inactive. Nico Collins is back. He's still listed as questionable, but he's listed as back. Pittman is out. Let's see. Christian McCaffrey is questionable, obviously, so he's coming. He's going to make a comeback for. So
He's
whoever
playing though,
that
right?
I would assume so. I mean, he practiced. So for everybody that's been waiting, and got bamboozled with that first pick, your boy Christian
Oh
McCaffrey is
man,
supposed to be back.
he went to
Um,
what did he go? He went to Sweden to get that. He got some type of
get
surgery
some
in
type of
Sweden.
secondary opinion. Like honestly,
Secondary opinion, aka he got the shot in Sweden,
he
and now
some yeah he got the deer
he
antler
said he
spray.
feels amazing.
He got the deer antler spray or something.
He
I mean,
got
you got to do
something.
what
He
you got
said
to
he
do to
feels
win.
amazing. I'm
It is what
telling
it
you.
is. Debo Samuel's questionable. DK Metcalf is still questionable with that knee injury. Mike Evans is out with the hamstring. Chris Olave
Mm,
is on IR now with that
concussion.
concussion. Here's a an out that is very pertinent here. Two outs that are very pertinent for the Commanders. Brian Robinson is out, and Austin Seibert is out. Our kicker, the guy who hasn't missed and has been a godsend from a special team standpoint. Austin Seibert is out, and Brian Robinson is out, so that's going to be pretty important going
What
into.
happened to Cyber?
So he had a hip injury.
From where? Where did this? What happened?
Random. I don't know. I don't know if it happened in the game. I don't know if it happened in practice, but I had him on. I
He's
have him
been,
on.
like you said, he's been
He's been lights
amazing.
out. He's been lights out, man. He's definitely been a godsend. But yeah, he's out. Bijan Robinson is out.
Not Bijan, Brian.
Excuse me, Brian. Yeah, Brian is out. Um, and
You know, I wanted to. Can I talk about that?
Tank Dale is questionable.
Oh, Tank Dell. Come
Yep.
on, man. I mean, I need CJ Stroud to have a big game, and he need again. These
Tyreek
quarterbacks
Hill's
need their
also questionable too.
receivers. Who?
Tyreek Hill's also questionable. Like some of these, we also got to remember some of this stuff is gassed up. Like they put down
Okay,
questionable, just to kind of like give a competitive
that's
edge.
that's
So
a good point. And I think I don't know if that has to do with Vegas too, because that's a very good point. Some of these guys are questionable, and then they come out and have 200-yard games, and it's like, yo,
right, right.
what's
Jamar
going on
Chase was
here?
probably questionable last week, and
I'm telling you,
with a toe injury or something.
yeah.
Something. Yeah. So,
But
but
so let's talk about the replacements for these. So I guess two things. Yeah, let's talk about the replacements because who'd you say? Brian Robinson is out, and I wanted to talk about last week the people that filled in. Now
yeah,
for fantasy, this is a little tough because I would have thought Jeremy McNichols was gonna fill in for Brian
yeah. I
Robinson.
found that kind of odd. But like I think McNichols is more so an Eckler compliment, and
Okay.
Rodriguez is a Robinson compliment.
Okay, so maybe Rodriguez was not available in the game earlier in the season where the Commanders had McNichols and Eckler. Because there was one game where there was
Yeah,
McNichols and Eckler, and
yeah,
McNichols
yeah, yeah,
just
yeah. I
kind
think
of
they
went
just gave
off.
McNichols a shot because he performed so well in the Bengals game. So they're like, let's just keep the momentum. But they probably saw like, wait a minute, he's not that power running back that we need, to
Like Chris
get those
Rodriguez,
short
yeah.
yards and stuff. Yeah. So
So that was something I like watching the last game. Chris Rodriguez really filled in well for Brian Robinson. Eckler is going to do what Eckler is going to do, but we still needed that back that could get 2 to 3 hard rushing yards. Eckler is
yeah,
not doing that. Eckler is
no,
getting when we need a yard, Eckler is getting a half a yard. Like, and he Eckler actually, let me give Eckler some credit. I think he had a couple plays, like maybe
yeah,
one
he
or
got
two
that
plays
fourth
on
down
third or
in New
fourth
York. He
down.
got that 4th and 1 in yeah. So he's
Yeah, so
like
he can do it,
he's
but
a
he's not Brian Robinson, and he's
no,
not Chris
no,
Rodriguez
no,
because Chris
no,
Rodriguez came in last week
no.
and did well.
Yeah, yeah. Eckler, he's the guy that you want to give on the screens, on the bubble screens, or the halfback screens and things like that. I mean, he's a running back, so I would hope you can get a yard rushing from him. But like, if we need, like you said, like a tough one, a long two, something
Uh,
like that, I'm going with Rodriguez.
you said
Pause.
you need a tough one.
Hey yo. Try to stay professional here.
Try to stay professional. Oh
Hey,
man.
hey, shout out to Cam and Mace for making that
Yeah,
prevalent, yo. Yo, I swear that shit is hilarious.
yeah, we're '80s baby, so we grew up on Cam and Mace. It's really people talk about their relationship, and I think hopefully people can see that we have that same type of relationship, being friends since high school. But yeah, shout out to Cam and Mace, man. How amazing is it to see what they've done to really like just
They
transform a
did a complete
friendship.
180. Like two rappers talking about sports. I mean, talk about a transition. Like
Yeah.
that's a career change for sure.
And then they like even hit freestyles on the show.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, like sometimes they got to remind bands, like, hey, like to the younger generation that's probably only know them because
like
of
we
the show. They're
still
like,
got
wait a
it.
minute, hold on, I spit bars too.
Bro,
So,
are we gonna get a feature from from Cole
Huh?
one day, dog? Are we going to get a feature, dog?
I don't freestyle for free anymore.
Hey, there we go. We need the sponsor first. Once we get the sponsor, then
Right.
yeah, we might have to drop something.
BetMGM, you need to follow Brody Sports Talk. FanDuel,
Oh,
you need to follow Brody Sports Talk. All y'all need to follow Brody Sports Talk.
Cole, before we go to the next segment, and I don't even know if we're switching segments, but I wanted to ask you this, or can we ask the fans this? Because I think you had a really good idea. Cole wanted to take pictures. Do you guys think we should take pictures? And
So
I love the picture you sent in the chat, Cole, of the Step Brothers. Yo, that picture had me dying
I'm
laughing,
not sitting
man.
there
Like,
saying we need to
should we
take
take
like
Step Brother
official
pictures,
like
man?
pictures, like go to Walmart or some shit. No, I'm talking about like
The JC
pictures
Penney
like
joints, right?
behind the scenes pictures and stuff, like, you know what I'm saying, like candid pictures and stuff like that.
No, I
Just to
like the
like,
candid pictures I did.
yeah, you know what I'm saying, like for
Like of us getting ready
photography.
and stuff.
Yeah, like photography is a it's a, I don't know, like it's poetry, man. Like
Nah,
I
that's
think
facts.
having
Especially with a
like
good
behind the
camera.
scenes
Like,
pictures and stuff like that will kind of give everybody like kind of like a snapshot of what, what it's like to, for us to work together. But yeah, man, if you're not following us, Brody Sports Talk on Instagram and YouTube, you know, uh, you know, make your parlay bets from WIGG Parlay Locks here on BetMGM or FanDuel or any other platforms, my bookie, from the Team 980. Shout out to Kevin Sheehan. So yeah,
those are Bowie. Shout out to the Bowie boys, man. These
yeah.
are we might be some new Bowie boys in town, but shout out to the originals, man, the junkies.
Oh yeah, yeah, the sports junkies too, man. Like I listen to them all the time, man. Honestly, Team 980, like listening to them, Kevin Sheehan, Brian Mitchell, Doc Walker, Denton Day, Liddell
Hey, you're gonna
Willingham,
forget
Chris
somebody.
Russell.
You don't have to name them all. You're gonna forget somebody,
I'm just
man.
giving them a shout out because I listen to all of them, man. But
Nah, they're legit, man. Anytime I'm in the car, and I do a lot of driving, but I listen to them all the time.
yeah, man, that's actually the reason why I'm doing this, to be quite honest. But yeah, again, follow Brody Sports Talk on Instagram and YouTube. But moving back to our last take here, I mentioned that the Chiefs in our last episode. I mentioned that the Chiefs have a high probability of possibly going undefeated. Um, just taking a look at their schedule, bro, they have a pretty high chance of going undefeated. And this is what my last take is. The Chiefs here could possibly run the table with their defense, and the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes just doing what he's supposed to do when it matters. I think they're going to have a chance to go possibly undefeated and win 3 straight titles, bro. So let's look at their schedule. So they got the Broncos this week. I got them winning that. They got the Bills next week. Now they're at the Bills. Now that's going to be a hard win for them, or a tough challenge, if you will. But I got them winning that game. I got them winning.
Now
And then
the
they got the
Bills. You said you
Panthers.
got them winning. Josh Allen. Does Josh Allen have enough weapons to beat the Chiefs right now?
The Chiefs' defense is still a Super Bowl caliber defense. Like
So
the
I'm saying, does
Vikings,
Josh Allen have enough weapons to beat the Chiefs right now?
no,
Yeah, no, he doesn't.
no,
I don't think so.
no.
Maybe if they meet in the AFC playoffs. But at this point, Amari Cooper, like you said, Amari Cooper is questionable. He's not even,
Yeah.
fully healthy,
Yep.
and they might have to rush him out there because they don't have that many receivers. Keon Coleman is a rookie. He's
Exactly.
just okay. So
Exactly.
I don't think they have enough weapons yet. Like you said, the Chiefs' defense is a Super Bowl
It's a Super Bowl
winning
caliber defense, and
defense,
defense travels.
and they have Mahomes. Like the only thing I'm worried about right now is again Andy Reid's quote of the loosest ankles in America, Patrick Mahomes.
I mean,
That's the only
it
thing I'm
doesn't
worried
matter. I mean,
about.
this dude ran for a first down that locked up his Super Bowl on a high ankle sprain. I don't
He
think
did.
Mahomes' pain tolerance is damn near as similar to Brett Favre's. Like, yeah,
Oh, he's gonna get that shot. He's gonna get that shot.
of
That's
course,
what I'm
of
saying.
course.
Mahomes not playing. He's in this league to be legendary.
And then they
He's gonna
got
leave it
Kareem
all
Hunt
on
too,
the field.
so they might just run the ball a lot too.
You said they have a great what?
They got Kareem
Oh,
Hunt,
Kareem Hunt. Yeah,
so they're probably going to be running the ball a lot more to like not put as much stress on his ankle.
I agree. I agree.
But yeah, I mean he's got the Panthers. That's a win.
That's a
He's got
easy dub.
he's got the Raiders. That's a win.
That's a dub.
Now the Chargers, I would say the Chargers might be a little bit of a challenge. It's a divisional game, but they're home, and it's a Southern team in the cold. This is December 8th at 8:20 p.m. in Kansas City. That's going to be cold. So I got the
Okay.
Chiefs losing that game. Then
Yeah,
you got the Browns. You know they're done. The Texans maybe, but the Texans are a dome team. They're a Southern team, and it's December 21st at 1 p.m. You know,
It's
I don't know.
it's the Chiefs or is in Houston?
It's in Kansas City. It's a home game, so
Oh,
it could be
man.
cold
Okay.
as well.
Okay.
And then to wrap things up, they got the Steelers. Now they're at the Steelers, so that could be challenging. But I think the refs are
and
going to
at that
be
point, do
on
you
their
sit your
side.
players? At
You
that
know
point,
what?
do you sit your players and go for the three-peat? So I think it's the same thing that again, I told you last week. D Hop tweeted out the picture of him of Mahomes, not Mahomes. I keep saying it. Brady and Moss.
Yeah,
And you said it last week. They went undefeated, but they lost in the Super Bowl. Do the Chiefs sit their players out week 17? I think that's the only question of do they go undefeated, because I don't see anybody on their schedule that can beat them until they get to Pittsburgh, and I think the only reason will be because they might be sitting some players to rest up. Because what's more important, 17-0 or a Super Bowl?
well, here's the problem. If they sit their players, and let's just say they when they get to the Steelers, they're still undefeated. So that would make them 15-0, right?
16-0, because it's 17 games now. You know, it's not 16. So you
Right,
telling them how old you are. It used to be 16 games 30 years ago when we were teenagers, man.
No, they had two. They will have two more games. So they will be 15-0 going into the Steelers, and then they have one more game with the Broncos to end it. So that would make it 17.
Okay.
So if they go into the Steelers at 15-0, right? Then to me, they're already trying to go undefeated because you're 15-0. You already got the most likely the division wrapped up. You know what I'm saying?
So not
you're
the
playing to
Steelers
win.
game. I thought that was the last game. I'm sorry. So
No, they got the Broncos after that. So here's
and
the
then
thing.
they might be able to beat the Broncos with their backup. So then they might go undefeated.
If they sit their starters, it will be in the last game. But
No, you're
the
right.
problem
They
is
could
what
beat
they
the Broncos.
so what they may do, okay? Andy Reid may say play the first half just to keep that rhythm going, because if they go 15, 16, 17-0, they're going to have the first round bye. So they're already going to have a week off. So that's going to throw off the chemistry. So if anything, play them the first half, and then you have that week off, and then you're good. But
That's a good point.
yeah, so that's
Making
what
it look
we're looking at
very
here,
likely.
man.
That might have to be a bet we get up on. Is the Chiefs going undefeated? This will be the time to do it before the odds go up. So
They have a high probability, man. I say they only have three games in question: the Bills, the Steelers, and the Texans.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it, man. You got anything else for your last take, bro?
I do. I absolutely do. Let me get into this. The referees right now. So the referees in the NFL, and I think I spoke about it last time, but we had some technical difficulties. The referees right now are affecting the game either with calls that are not there, phantom calls that they are just making up, or calls that they're completely missing. And it showed up again in the Ravens and Bengals game. Late in the game, the most important play of the game, Joe Burrow gets slapped across the face, and
Blatant
all of
face
his face
mask.
mask,
Everybody
and
can see
that
it.
and that was the second one that didn't get called in the last 2 minutes. Clear calls that affect the game. The Bengals don't convert. There's no flag. They don't get the play over. But let me talk about another aspect. Zay Flowers, we had two bets, one for 40 yards, one for 50 yards. There were at least two plays that Zay Flowers got called back on for 6 yards and two
Mm-hmm.
receptions. And it just looks like the referees are in
They're
bed with
getting
Vegas.
sloppy. It's becoming too obvious.
It looks very obvious. Again, referees have already admitted to doing these things for Vegas. So it's no, we're not making this up. This isn't a conspiracy theory at this point. And like you said, it's very obvious. Like you look at the Chiefs games, there's a heavy favoritism towards the Chiefs to win.
Mm-hmm.
You look at home games. I don't even like this. At home teams are heavily favored, and usually the refs will side with the home team. We shouldn't be siding with the home team. I'll take it when it's my team, home team, but it should just be the call is the call. So that's my last take. Is it's frustrating when you want to because we bet for fun. We're not betting a lot of money. We're not betting our mortgage. We're not trying
Yeah.
to we want to get rich, but we're not betting a lot of money. We're just having fun with this stuff. But it does take away from the game, the enjoyment
Yeah.
of the game
Yeah, it does.
when you feel like the referees are in on it with Vegas.
Yeah, I agree. It's like the Ravens game last this past Thursday. I mean, blatant face mask. Now, um, to play advocate, you know, if we did it that way, then the Hail Mary in Washington versus Chicago wouldn't have happened, because if you look at the tape, one of the linemen was caught holding, a blatant holding call, while Jaden was scrambling around, and then there was a legal block in the back as well by one of our linemen, so that could have negated that entire play. But I think
Now, I guess that's a different question. Do you think those plays should be reviewable?
I think the competition committee is going to bring that to the table to review penalties, because that can make or break games. But I think they're going to try to have to find a happy medium, because I don't care what no one says. I'm in agreement with you, bro. I think Vegas plays a role in some of these outcomes. I wouldn't be surprised if 5, 10, 15 years from now, there's a 30 for 30 that's done based on this, how sports gambling has started to influence a lot of these plays, a lot of these games, because sometimes, like, I think it was one game, I can't remember the matchup, but I remember the score. It was like 11-9 or something, and it could have been like 13-9, but like it was a play that just effed up the entire sequence of like the last drive, so the game ended at 11-9. And then like people were talking about, refs were doing shady stuff, because Vegas was like, no, we need to keep that over or keep that under, for this particular game. So look, we already know, we have proof when that you remember that ref that was
Donaghy.
caught in the NBA,
Tim
that was
Donaghy.
caught
Yep.
shaving points and calling travel on Allen Iverson every time. I mean, it is what it is, man. Like we're dealing with $1 billion industry, and with the bookies. I wouldn't be surprised if some of these refs are being influenced by it.
I'm happy you said $1 billion industry, because one of the points that I don't think all the fans are aware of is now that ESPN has its own betting site. So if ESPN is into the betting, it's in their best interest for them to keep the games close. That's one of the things that you can see the referees are constantly making a call to do. If one team is down 2 touchdowns, they'll start getting calls in their favor to get that team kind of close.
Yeah.
Again, if ESPN is in the betting game, one, they want you to watch the games, and they want the games to be close. and they want the spread lines to be close.
Yeah.
So all of that is gonna feed into kind of it's one of these things now where your data is important. I'm starting to see that before the game even comes out. FanDuel sends out a notification that says 20,000 fans are betting on this parlay. And it kind of makes me think like, I don't want to be on that parlay because if I'm getting that notification, the NFL is getting that notification and they're telling their referees, all right, we need to make sure this parlay doesn't hit. And that's what
Yeah.
it feels like is happening.
I
And
wouldn't be
again, like I
surprised if
said,
something like that
ESPN is
comes out.
making money on these bets. ESPN is making money on the TV and they're making money on the bets. So they're literally in bed with Vegas.
Here's another thing to add, bro. Can you imagine if the NFL and like the sports betting platforms like partnered, like kind of like with like the
That's what I'm that no code. That's what I'm saying. They
yeah
are partnered now.
yeah
Now that ESPN is in the betting game, that's the partnership. Like ESPN is now Vegas. That's what I'm saying. It's no
yeah
longer
yeah
Vegas and MGM. ESPN is now the TV and they're Vegas and they've got the analysts and they have the journalists. Like at this point,
Shoot, the NFL needs to adopt
does
that. They
Roger
need to have
Goodell?
like an
I mean, they
NFL
basically
bet
work
joint.
for ESPN, right? Because
Yeah.
we watch it through them. So and they're owned by ABC, so it's all and Disney, you know. And now the streaming platforms are starting to stream the games, so it's all connected. You kind of start to see how it's all connected.
Yeah,
And
they're already price gouging fans with putting certain games on streaming platforms only. Like I think Thanksgiving or Christmas, one of those games is going to be exclusively streamed on Netflix. I mean Thursday Night Football is already on Amazon Prime, so yeah. I mean it's all about the money, and the Brodies here are trying to get a slice of the pie. So that's where we're at there, Brody World. We definitely appreciate y'all tuning in here to the Brody Sports Talk Happy Hour cut. If you're not following us on Brody Sports Talk on Instagram and YouTube, you need to be doing so for all of your parlay picks and your fantasy talk. But outside of that, man, this is your boy Co World and my main man Jay Wiggs. I'm gonna get at you later, bro.
all right, Brody.
All right, man.